You guys prepared for a video with really terrible lighting? Because I packed my lighting thing, my little tripod. So this is just sitting against a box right now, and we're using the lighting of my living room. I might move the lamp over so it's a bit better, but yeah, we're struggling today. So basically, I'm moving in a week, and I have to pack stuff, specifically glasses today. So I thought I could have you guys join me while I talk about some of my favorite horror movies and why I love them. Just because I'm planning on also making this kind of a horror channel as well. So why not? So while I'm recording these clips, I'm also going to be packing mugs and glasses into that box right there and just kind of getting things ready because we move in 10, 11 days now, and that's pretty crazy and weird because I've never moved out of my house before, so this is going to be really interesting. So yeah, enjoy. So to start off this list, this is going to be no surprise to anyone if you know me and know anything about me or saw my last video about my horror TBR, but one of my favorite horror movies, and horror movie I've watched quite often, is The Shining, which is a lot of people's favorite horror movies, but I've always really enjoyed it as like a work of art. Like I think it's very artistically shot, and I think it's like a brilliant piece of art, and I think it's really good, despite what went on behind the scenes, which I didn't know about until this year. But I have watched that movie so many times. I watch it whenever I'm sad, which I noticed one of you in the comments before was like, The Shining is your depression film? And I'm like, yeah, I will watch that 3-hour movie if I'm feeling really down, and I love it. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love that movie so much. I think the acting is brilliant. I think the scenery is brilliant. I think the Overlook Hotel looks brilliant, and I just love it. Like, I love that movie so much, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, that's one of my favorite horror movies. One mug down, like 200 more to go. Another one of my favorite horror movies of all time would be The Conjuring 2, which is my favorite movie in the Conjuring universe, and in my opinion, the best horror movie in the Conjuring universe, or the best movie in general in the Conjuring universe. And I love that movie. I think it was a lot stronger than the first one. I think the story was a lot stronger. I think Ed and Lorraine's relationship was a lot more emotional in the second one, which I think they also tried to capture in The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, but I hated that movie, honestly. It bored me. But The Conjuring 2 had this really like emotional feel to it. Like, you cared about all the characters, you cared about the family, you cared about everything that was happening to them, and you wanted it to be like resolved by the end. And so I loved that movie. I thought it was really well done, and it's a horror movie I've watched so many times at this point. And I know like people say that those movies are just like cheap horror and stuff, but I think the first Insidious movies are also going to be on this list, but the first few Insidious movies and the first 2 Conjuring movies I think are really good movies. I will be making a video about my least favorite horror movies as well, but for right now it's my favorite to keep in a positive mindset. So yeah, I love The Conjuring 2. I think it's a really, really good movie. I've seen it so many times because I love the characters, and I love, I forget, Patrick Wilson, is that his name, as Ed, and I always forget her name, Verga Thamiet? I don't know, but I love her as Lorraine, and I think it really works. So I actually now want to rewatch that movie today, so I might do that while I keep packing, but yeah. This movie on my list is the original Halloween, like the very first one, without looking at all the sequels. I thought that movie was really well done, and I thought it was really good. And I liked how the jump scares were handled. And I liked Michael Myers as a villain. Like, he felt very, just like, you didn't know why he was out to do this, and I liked that, which is why the later movies are less good. But I think the first one was really effective in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people find it very effective considering how popular it is. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the first movie. I didn't really enjoy any of the sequels that much, except for the 2018 version. I think the 2018 version was actually pretty good. And that might be a controversial opinion, but I actually really liked it, and I'm looking forward to seeing Halloween Kills in October, I think is when that comes out. So yeah, maybe I'll do a horror movie review by then. I love the smug. Catfinated. My fiance's gonna hate that mug. He hates cat puns. And he hasn't seen this one before, so yeah. The next favorite horror movie / kind of thriller drama on this list is the first horror-based movie that I ever saw, which was The Sixth Sense. When I was about 12, I wanted to get into the horror genre, and my mom had seen a ton of horror movies, and I was like, my mom hates horror movies, by the way, and I was like, hey, what's a horror movie that's not too intense, but also is kind of spooky, that you think I'd really like? And she suggested The Sixth Sense, and we ended up sort of watching it together, but I thought that movie was brilliant. I really liked the twist at the end, and it's also how I found out about M. Night Shyamalan, who has made some good movies. I really liked The Sixth Sense. I thought Split was very exploitative of mental illness. People with dissociative identity disorder already suffer enough from stigma from the internet. Believe me, I know. So, yeah, did not love that one once I actually started thinking about it. I thought it was good the first time I saw it because I was like, wow, this is intense, and I love James McAvoy. He's one of my favorite actors. But thinking about it more, and with my personal mental illnesses now that I won't get into, I have kind of changed my opinion on Split quite a bit. But yeah, I watched The Sixth Sense when I was like 12, and it didn't scare me, but I was so shocked by the ending and so like in love with it after that I showed it to literally all my friends and made them all watch it because I was like, you have to see this piece of artwork. And they all really liked it like I did, but I don't think they appreciated it like I did. And that happens a lot. Whenever I get obsessed with a movie, I'm just like, everyone must watch it now. And they never like it as much as I do, and I'm like, oh no, it's just me. Which is fine, but I get very excited to show off things that I like. So, yeah, if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense, I highly suggest it, especially if you're new to the horror genre. It is definitely an easy gateway into it, and it has a really good story and a really good twist, and God, it's such a good movie. The next movie on this list is the original Scream. I loved the original Scream. I thought it was really well done. I liked the humor in it, and again, like, the Halloween and Scream universe, they kind of like changed horror forever and made horror what it is today. So without them, it would be very hard to have the movies we have today, especially with the self-awareness of what the horror genre actually is. But I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's hard for people to say they didn't enjoy some of the classic horror movies, but there's definitely some classics I didn't enjoy, like, at all. Friday the 13th being one of them. It would be on my least favorite horror movie list. Sorry. But I love Halloween, I love Scream, and I just think those were two really effective movies. Another classic that I love is The Exorcist. I thought this movie was really well done. I thought it was incredible, actually, and I really want to read the book. I don't know why I didn't put it on my horror TBR, but I do want to read the book. It is definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and it is so effective and so scary and so upsetting, but I absolutely love that movie. I've only seen it like once or twice now, but I do have an Exorcist t-shirt, and I do have a Halloween t-shirt. I have like 2 or 3 Halloween t-shirts now, and I have a Shining t-shirt. Another horror classic that I love is Amityville Horror, the original one. I love this movie so much. Like, it is brilliant in my opinion, and I don't think any of the classics have ever scared me as much as this one. I thought it was super effective, super dramatic, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a movie I've rewatched like 4 or 5 times in a year. So I obviously enjoy it enough to rewatch it that many times because I don't rewatch movies that often, but it affected me for a while. Like, I was very disturbed by this movie, and I'm glad I was because it was a really effective horror movie. And if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. I think it's a really good classic, and I think it's really well done. So, yeah, go watch Amityville. The next favorite horror movie on this list is a movie I watched with my friend this year, like actually just a couple months ago, and that would be Wreck. I loved this movie. It is a Spanish dubbed zombie film, and I think it's brilliant. I thought that was an amazing movie, and I don't typically like love zombie movies. Like, I think they're good most of the time, but for some reason that one was just really, really good to me. And I also love good found footage films, so I thought that one was really good. I thought it was really fun, and the twists were good, the characters were good. It was just all around a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. It gives you major quarantine vibes. So if you're not looking for a movie about a lockdown, don't watch this one. But if you are looking for a movie about a lockdown, watch this one. So the next movie on my list is a modern one, which is Hereditary by Ari Aster. Most people I know have seen this movie at this point, and it is fucking disturbing as all shit. But it is a masterful film, and if you haven't seen it, and if you're not triggered by much, I do highly suggest it. But if you are prone to be triggered by violent and upsetting deaths and upsetting acting, maybe skip this one. It's pretty intense, but I love it for all the visuals. I love how beautiful the directing and the editing is. I think it's really, really well done. So I do still suggest it, but be aware of triggers for sure. This is another classic, but the next movie on my list is The Thing. The 1980 something, 1970 something, I don't know, it's an older movie. Not the absolute original, but the remake. I think that movie is brilliant. I love the use of practical effects, which I really respect in movies. I thought it was just a really, really good movie. Really creepy, really claustrophobic. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is a legitimately good movie with really good practical effects for its time, and I highly suggest it. So go watch The Thing. And I think that'll do it for my list of favorite horror movies. Those are all definitely the ones that I've rewatched a ton and that I personally adore. I will be making a least favorite horror movie list, a most disturbing horror movie list that I've seen, and just a bunch of different things about horror movies because it is one of the things I love to talk about. And I would love to talk about it more on here if you guys don't mind. So yeah, thank you for joining me while I packed some stuff, and I can't wait to be showing you my apartment vlog in like a week.